What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I'm back in the garage, and today my third gen 4Runner is going to be getting some love. It's nothing super exciting, but I do want to address a couple issues that I've been neglecting over the past couple months. We've been going out a ton of weekend trips, lots of rocks, lots of damage. So there's a bunch of things that I want to address before it gets too cold outside. We have a couple long trips coming up here shortly. We're going to be going out to Moab and just doing a lot of highway driving. So first and foremost, the main objective of this video is that it's very loud inside the truck when we're doing highway driving. Having 37-inch tires, it's pretty noisy. So what I did was ordered some sound deadening material off of Amazon, and that's the main objective of today. I'm going to be pulling all the interior out, getting some sound deadening laid in there, and then there's a couple additional little projects that I want to throw in while all the interior is torn apart. I do have a little list of a couple other things that I've been neglecting on the truck. We'll see what we can get knocked off of this list. Positive most of this won't get done today. Like I said, main objective is interior and sound deadening. With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into it and start getting the truck cleaned out and then pop some plastics out. First things first, to get this interior pulled out, I am gonna start from the rear and move my way forward, only because the storage is built into the truck. So it does take a little bit of work to get it all removed. Basically, I have to pull the drawers, and then this top piece is just bolted down to like a 2x4 frame, and then the walls pop off and etc. But yeah, lots of things to unscrew and get pulled out of the truck, so I'm gonna jump into it. Crazy to see it empty with no interior, no carpet, no anything. And I would love to say that I'm done now that I got all the seats and the carpet and everything out, but I still have to pull the plastics off of the front. I gotta pull all of these handles off, the plastics around the seat belt, and then the front end off. Take everything off of the headliner and then get the headliner down out of here. Once I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and dive into doing a clean of everything in here, nice vacuum, and wipe everything down. And then I'll jump right into trying to lay down some sound deadening. I did this whole process when I first bought the truck, so honestly, it's really not that bad. Most of this mess that's in here is mostly just dust and then random stuff from what I've had in the truck, BBs and, you know, washers and pennies and whatnot. But yeah, it should be pretty easy to get it all nice and clean. I'm gonna go ahead and jump back into getting the plastics out, pull the headliner apart, and get the headliner dropped out of the truck. Just got the headliner pulled out of the truck. It is officially stripped on the inside. pretty dirty, but it's mostly just dust, so I should be able to breeze through getting this cleaned out. I'm gonna jump in here with like the vacuum and some microfibers and try to get a good clean surface to start laying down some sound deadening material. I am going to start in the roof. There's been a rattle on this side of the sunroof, so I'm gonna try to diagnose that before I do anything, and then yeah, get to cleaning, get some sound deadening laid down, and then before I start reinstalling everything, I'm going to get some more vinyl interior paint and kind of just do some touch-ups on all of this plastic. I did paint all of this originally when I bought the truck. It was the brown plastic interior, which you can kind of see under there. And this interior paint has been great. It lasted me, I mean, 2+ years, and so far the majority of it is all still intact, except for obviously where I'm stuffing stuff in and out of the truck. Just finished getting the inside of the truck all vacuumed out and then wiped down. It's definitely not perfect. There's some corners that are still pretty dirty, but the main goal was to just get the big surfaces nice and clean so the adhesive sticks good and doesn't peel up. Granted, it's going to be under carpet, so it doesn't matter that much. This is the product that I'm going to be putting in the truck. It's called Silas. I would imagine that's how you pronounce that, like silence, but got this off Amazon. It was $65 for the box, and it comes with a decent amount. I think it's, you know, whatever this is, 15 inches wide, and then it comes in these strips, so you can kind of fill in all your big spaces without having to do a bunch of trimming, which is going to be nice. Get to it. Just finished getting everything laid down into the cab. Anything that didn't have factory deadening, I went ahead and did my best to cover. Definitely wish I would have ordered more initially, but this definitely is so much better than it was. Did a couple layers on the floorboard where I did tubbing. It was really thin steel down there, so went ahead, did a couple layers down by the feet, did the whole transmission tunnel, all of the back end, wheel wells, and the roof. I am going to order some more of this material so I can do all the doors. At the moment, I don't have any more. So while I still have daylight, the next step is I have a couple of loose wires. So like things for like rock lights. There was some tow light stuff that was dangling. Here's my locker harness that I kind of just stuffed under the carpet when I did this project. So I'm going to take some zip ties, some tape, whatever, and just kind of try to match all of the factory harness in here and clean up some of these wires. And then I have a fun project that I'm going to jump into next involving all of this stuff right here. Now that I got all the inside of the cab buttoned up, all the wires and everything cleaned up and out of the way, what I was just painting was a new center console. So for those of you that know, my truck's a 98. I have the crappy little flimsy cup holder up in the dashboard. And when I was digging for fuel pump parts the other day, I came across a 99 4Runner SR5 that has the cup holders and the newer version of the interior. And it was in beautiful condition. And I got the center console with the cup holders and all the brackets and everything that I need for like 30 bucks. So now that I'm pretty much to the point where I can start reinstalling everything, this is the exciting part, because now I get to install my new center console. The main difference with this one, obviously it has cup holders. The e-brake is offset to the right side. That way the cup holders make sense. And then this center console is just a little bit taller, so you get a little bit more height on your armrest. It seems to be pretty straightforward. So I've watched a couple videos. Basically, pull the e-brake, pull this bracket, pull the bucket, and then swap all of this. I got the replacement parts from the donor truck to replace all 3 of those components. So that's what I'm gonna jump into now. All right, we're losing daylight. Did not get quite as far as I had hoped to for the day, but honestly made a dent. I still have a garage full of parts, so tomorrow when I get home from work, I will resume reassembling the truck, getting everything put back together. I'll probably have to use Bo's help again to get the headliner in. I will pull out all of my little plastic trim parts, give all of those a little touch up, and then get them all thrown back in the truck. Okay, so I just got home from work. It's the next day. I ordered 2 more boxes of the sound deadening material from Amazon, and lucky enough, it showed up at my door before I even got home from work. So since all the interior is still out of the truck, I am going to use one of these boxes to kind of double down and do a little bit of overkill. Since the interior is still out, I'll probably not get this opportunity again. And then the second box, I'm gonna go ahead and use on the door panels. I probably won't start on the door panels until I get the interior of the truck all replaced and put back together. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and tear open one of these, get started on laying some more down, and then start reassembling the truck. Okay, it's day 3 of this one-day project. I just got home from work a little bit ago. It's about 5 o'clock. Don't have a ton of sunlight, so gonna jump right back into it. I got pretty far getting the interior put back together last night. I did some stuff off film just because it was super dark out and wasn't worth trying to film it. So I'll show you guys where I left off last night, and I also want to kind of point out a couple things with the center console that I got installed. As I had said earlier in the video, I was upgrading the center console from the 98, which doesn't have cup holders, to the 99, which does. And I still have to move some wires around in here so this fits a little bit better. But I got the new center console installed last night with the cup holders, so I'm super excited about this. And the thing that I wanted to point out was the buttons that are in the center console. So you have your ECT power, and then you have your back window. Typically, if you go to the 99 console and up, they don't have any like factory locations for the buttons. So you kind of have to make your own mounting plate to use those buttons in the center console. Otherwise, you would basically take the harness from these buttons, run them up into the dashboard somewhere. I wanted to leave them in a similar place that they were on the last console, so that's what I did. I pretty much just used a plastic plate, cut out some holes with a Dremel, and then glued it into the face of this little cubby hole. It's definitely not perfect. The buttons are loose and have a little bit of play, but they're there, and I didn't have to move the harness at all. Anyways, aside from the center console, I think that's enough talking. I have some small trim pieces left to get back in the truck, and then the seats. And then from there, I will just be reinstalling the storage and then kind of making a couple tweaks to that stuff. But other than that, we're cruising. Truck's going back together pretty easily. I'm gonna get back into getting these seats thrown in there. Been a little while since I worked on the sound deadening stuff. I just had a couple other issues with the truck come up, so it's been maybe a week, but I'm back on it. I'm gonna get the doors knocked out today. I just finished doing the driver door, and I already sound deadened some of this rear passenger door. This is the door that I started on a couple nights back. But when I did that, I looked over the fact that this is also the door with a dent in it. So I'm gonna go ahead, pull the door panel back off, try to pop that dent out a little bit, and then I'll get back on sound deadening. Is actually working a lot better than I thought it would. Definitely didn't expect to get it back to perfect, but compared to what it was, this is so much better. This door gap was open like 2 inches, and that has almost all the way closed up, and the rocker panel down here has got a lot of damage, so the opening honestly is probably a little bit from both the rocker as well as the door. But yeah, that looks so much better than it did. The dent is almost not there, so I can live with that. I am gonna jump back into doing some sound deadening in the rear door and then move on to the passenger side after that. As usual, I have some plans to go do some other things today. I just finished the driver's side sound deadening and then got this dent out. And I'll show some photos from when it happened. This is night and day better than it was. Pretty happy about the dent. I could tell by just closing the doors that they're already gonna be a little bit quieter. So maybe tonight I will jump back in and finish the passenger side. It's relatively easy to get those door panels popped off and then get some sound deadening done in there. All right, it's been a little bit since I worked on the sound deadening in the truck. I basically took a day off and then it snowed, so it's been a little over a week. But I'm gonna go ahead and knock the rest of this project out this morning. The only thing I have left to do is the doors on the passenger side of the truck, which is pretty quick and easy. And since driving it the last week, I wanted to show you guys the difference that I've noticed just in the doors. Once I get the other side of the truck finished this morning, I'll go ahead and drive around and see if I can't show you guys the difference of me driving in the truck previous to doing sound deadening and then me driving in the truck now. I'll tell you right now that it's not the biggest difference in the world, but I definitely notice a difference, especially on the highway. It's more so just like a lower pitch of a humming noise. Like my exhaust is pretty loud. The tires are fairly loud. So it definitely didn't make it sound like a Prius in there, but it did help. And yeah, I just wanted to show you guys the difference in the doors, and I'm gonna see if it picks it up on camera real quick. So this is the door with sound deadening versus the door with no sound deadening. The doors with no sound deadening, you can hear the echo of all the sheet metal, and this is with the sound deadening. So now that you've heard the other side versus this side, it does make a big difference. Like I said, my exhaust is loud, so it's gonna be a hard thing to fully cancel out all that noise. But so far I'm happy with it. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the other side of the truck and get these two doors knocked out real quick. I'm gonna take it for a spin around the block real quick and see if it doesn't pick up the noise difference. I have a couple videos of me driving around on a trail or something like that previous to doing any sound deadening. So that's gonna be really my only comparison, because I didn't drive around and do this exact same test before I started. However, I'm sure I have a video somewhere in my camera roll that I can throw in here and compare the sound differences to. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead, take it for a spin around the block real quick and show you guys the noise difference. I know it's not going to be the best quality, me trying to compare noises while filming on an iPhone. Sitting inside of the truck is a noticeable difference. It's a lot less echoey, and you can tell even just talking inside of the truck kind of holds sound a little bit better. I talked to one of my neighbors that does some like auto detailing stuff professionally, and he was telling me, like, although you're not going to necessarily kill or drown out all of your road noise when you do sound deadening, it will help you capture noise inside of your cabin. So as far as your music or your conversations, you'll be able to hear a little bit better inside regardless, even though it's not going to kill that road noise. So yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. I didn't really know that before I jumped into this project, but I'm still happy I did it. All said and done, this was a very dragged out process of me getting this project completed, but I'm super happy to have it all finished. I wanted to sound deaden this truck since I bought it, and then I just kind of put it on the shelf. To address basically the main points of this video, I think that it's worth doing. It is not the most expensive thing in the world. It's definitely a lot of tedious work pulling the whole truck apart and then putting everything back together. When you do that process, you get to learn a lot about your truck and how everything works and how all the panels come off, how all the interior is put in there, as well as do a deep clean. And I love cleaning, so that's a double win for me. Although it's not going to drown out all of your road noise in the truck, it will make a significant difference. I've driven it on the highway a couple times back and forth to work and noticed a big difference in hearing my radio, as well as being able to hold a conversation and not be yelling the whole time. So in my eyes, that's a huge win. If I had any advice for someone that wants to do this project, I would just say buy more sound deadening than you think you need. I ended up using, I think, 5 boxes, and originally I bought 2. So it goes a long way, but you definitely need a lot. Anyways, it was a fun project. It's finally all finished. I have a couple more projects lined up to get done this week. I am going to be doing auxiliary power in the 4Runner finally. So when we're out camping, I'm going to be able to have secondary power in the back of the truck run my diesel heater, charge phones, all of that good stuff. So all that stuff came in the mail and I'm super excited, as well as bought a drone last night. So the camping and wheeling videos are hopefully going to get a whole lot cooler. I'm sure it'll be a little bit of a learning curve. I've flown a drone like one time, but yeah, super hyped on that. Anyways, this project is all finished. I really appreciate all of the positive feedback that I've been getting on this channel. It is a lot of work to get these projects done. It takes a lot of time. I work a full-time job. I like to do a whole lot of other things with my free time other than work on my truck. I really try to buckle down. Like right now it's 8 a.m. and it's like 45 degrees outside, but I really wanted to get this project done so I can get this video posted. I hope it was helpful. I hope that it gives you some kind of insight on sound deadening your vehicle if that's something that you're trying to do. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.